Bonjour. How is everyone? 12 people here already. Evan Rogers, obviously, always here. Marcin Kowalczyk, how you doing? Whoever else is here in the chat, come and say hi. Apologies for my eyes. I've got a little bit of allergies going on, so don't worry too much about that. Who's excited about the new Facebook news? No one? Cool. Right. We are here. I've got the Apple newsroom up already because, as I say, they always put the numbers out a little bit early, normally about 5 or 10 minutes before the actual call starts. So, yeah, fingers crossed it's going to be an interesting one. Let's see if they've actually done all right again. I feel like they might have done just fine. I don't think Apple's struggling. I don't think we're in too much danger of Apple going under in the next quarter. Evan Rogers, it's all new Coke all over again with Meta. Yeah, couldn't agree more. It's a pure rebrand exercise. Apparently, it's so they don't have to report quite as much stuff because Facebook stops being the holdings company and becomes just a product underneath that. A little bit terrifying. A little bit terrifying. How we doing, Michael Durage? How you doing? Who else we got? Techable Tech is here. How you doing? Beans indeed. Yeah. Everyone having a good day. Who in the chat has already got themselves a brand new MacBook Pro? Wingius Almighty, is it my eyes or it's a filter? What are we saying? A filter? What kind of filter? I have changed color correction a little bit to try and make it a little bit better because color correction not my strongest suit. But let me know how the stream is looking. Let me know that you can hear me all right as well. I assume it's not too bad at the minute. And let's just tweet this out quickly because I have a feeling that not that many people know we're here. Let's just do a quick tweet of this. Join us live. Cool. Let's refresh the news site. Nope, still nothing on there. But we will keep an eye on that. Let's pop that into its own little window. But yeah, I thought we'd start this a little bit early this time because in general, they always put out the news a little bit earlier than normal. Techable Tech, I'm hoping to get a MacBook Pro, but not yet. Okay. Michael Durage, hi, Gave Dave, doing well, thanks. Cool. Marcin Kowalczyk, be brave. Turn the correction full off. Go raw sauce. Do you want me to do that? I guess I could. Let's have a look how it looks as it comes out of the camera. I mean, it's not bad. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit more washed out. We'll do that if you want. There we go. Sound is great. Video is a little dark. Okay, well, I think we fixed that anyway, so that's cool. But yeah, it looked a little bit shiny on my head. That should have sorted that out for you. Cheers, Marcin Kowalczyk. I'd like to see the iMac super duper. Yeah, I mean, the iMacs. Still very excited to see what they do with that. Marcin, better in your eyes. Okay, cool. We will go with the lighter version. That's absolutely fine by me. Little Mountain Life, how are you doing? Yeah, we're just going to keep refreshing the Apple news page until we get some numbers out of them. But yeah, we should be getting these numbers in the next few minutes, which will be interesting. Anyone want to take bets on how much they beat their target by this time? Let me know down in the chat how much you think they're going to beat their targets by. So yeah, it might be because I'm actually off angle on the screen when I'm looking at it. That might be why it looks washed out to me, but okay to you. I will go with what you guys prefer. That's absolutely fine. We've got a video premiering tomorrow at 5 PM, which is the new studio tour with the desk that we're on right now, which it's one of these ones that does all of that stuff. Let's put it back down to there. I think that was better framed. But yeah, we've got a nice new desk. 15% over, says John Malkin. Let's do billions over. I think we're going to be 8 billion over what they'd expected or what they'd forecast. I'm not sure. Or over last year? Are we doing over last year? Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely double digits over last year, I think. So probably 11 to 12% over last year. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I've just got to text my wife back because she is at the theatre tonight, and so the kids are here, but they're both asleep, so that's cool. So I will just send her a quick message. But yeah, let's have another quick check to see if we've got our numbers. So the latest press release at the moment that we've got is Apple charging towards 2030 carbon neutral goal, adding 9 gigawatts of clean power and doubling its supplier commitments, which is fine. It's nice that they're going more clean energy. I like that. Also, nice bit of news. I may be getting an electric car for work in the next very soon. Yeah, I think so. Sharon B is asking, with all the delays, will they meet their targets? Yes, I think they're going to be over the forecast. Evan Rogers, 10.6 billion above forecast. Yeah, that's probably not a bad shout. John Malkin, where's makeup? Get the talents and powder. Yeah, it's shiny in here. It's I need to get a diffuser, I think, for that light. I think that's probably what we need to do. But yeah, it's just literally a panel of LEDs right now. Master Kowalczyk, is it a Tesla? No. If all goes well, if what happens, what I've been told is happening, it happens, it's going to be a Lexus, which would be nice. So my decade-old BMW will be going. The red eye, Dom, yes, not mini LED steering. I don't have mini LED. I don't have the new MacBook Pros. It's a very sad time for me. But no, this is pure allergies, unfortunately, and it just randomly flares up. There's never any sort of rhyme or reason to when it does it. But tired eyes, I guess, as well as the other thing. Cactus Coda, hi everyone. I'm interested to see the larger iMac. I've seen different people saying that there might be a 27-inch and a 30-plus inch. Do we think the 30-plus inch would be a Pro model? I don't think there's going to be a 30-plus inch model now. I think what we're hearing is that what was going to be a 30-inch is now going to be a 27-inch instead, and I think it's a limitation of what they can do with the mini LEDs right now. So that seems to be what we have going on. But yeah, I almost forgot that I was supposed to be live streaming tonight as well because of the Facebook news dropping earlier. I literally turned on my iPad and recorded like a 2-minute video, and it's had a few thousand views already, which was quite nice. Nice little bump for no actual work. So that's always good. What else have we got here in the predictions? So we've got new iMac, 1 to 2 of the new M1 Max Mac Pro. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to get dual SoCs in the iMac. We might do. It depends how chunky they make it. If they're happy to make it chunky like they've done with the MacBook Pros, then they might well do. But yes, Cactus Coda also waiting for a larger iMac whatever it may be. That's from Marcin as well. Yeah, so pro tip, never admit success takes no work. Well, on this one I think it's fair because I don't want to be known as a Facebook channel, if I'm honest. Yeah, that's one of those little things where I literally just saw some people tweeting about it, went and looked at the press release and went, yeah, I can talk about that for 2 minutes. Right, let's have another quick look at the newsroom, see if we've got our numbers yet. Nope. They're normally really good at this. Normally we start the stream at 9 o'clock with the earnings call starting, and everyone's like, yeah, we've already seen it. Let's just do a quick refresh of the earnings call page. No, they still haven't even got the the player up on the page. Have I got the time wrong? That would be awful, wouldn't it? (2 p.m. California). I think we're right. I think we're good. Anyone got any questions that you want me to answer? We might as well do some iCave answers while we're waiting. Throw them up in the chat. And let's just have a chat about Apple stuff. Do we think that Dave is getting a Lexus company car? Everything's coming up iCave. Yeah, I mean, at the minute, I've got, as I say, an old BMW that's, 10 years old as a company car. That's not a normal thing. So yeah, they're replacing it with one of those, which is about the same price, I think, as a Tesla, but it's like an SUV style, so I can fit more stuff in it when I'm going to events. It's almost 1 p.m. on the West Coast. Are we an hour early? God damn. Okay, well, we'll play for a while. Have they changed from daylight savings already? Is that what's going on? Because ours changes this weekend, so that might explain why there's less stuff going on. So yeah, we'll definitely chat through some other stuff then. What are we thinking for the MacBook Air / MacBook that's coming next year, the M2? White bezels. Who is with me on the idea that that is going to be a good thing? You guys tell me. Are we liking the idea of white bezels on the M2 MacBook Airs? Yeah, so we have got an hour and 5 minutes to go. That's going to be a lot of time to pad, but I'm sure we can do it. Not a problem. Meta is trending on Twitter, obviously. Let's be honest. That's exactly what we all thought. Tailosive Tech has just tweeted a new video, possible bad news on the M2 MacBook Air, which is basically that it has white bezels from the looks of things. Does anyone else care? I think the white bezels look pretty awesome. I think it looks great on the iMac. But do we think we're going to get a completely different design on the bigger iMac or what? Evan Rogers, M2 8 CPU core with A15 cores, 10 core GPU with A15, performance 10 to 15% worse than M1 Pro 8/14 cores. Yeah, that's probably not a bad shout, to be fair. I think it's going to be, 18%, 20% faster than what we have in the M1. In terms of CPU, I think we're going to have probably a lot more performance in the graphics side, because what did we get, 55% increase on the A15 over the A14? That's going to be pretty nice, especially if they're adding in the extra GPU cores as well. Which I guess means, I don't know if the binned ones are going to be then 8 core or 9 core. I wonder. Sharon B, me colour very sleek and futuristic for consumers. Yeah, I really do think that a lot of people will really like the white, and I think it's going to be iconic for Apple again. Like the iconic white headphones and still white AirPods. These are the new ones, by the way. I think the white AirPods, there's a reason that they don't do them in multiple colours, and it's because as soon as you see them, you kind of know that they're Apple. With this shape as well. Cactus Coda, Tailosive is silly sometimes, but makes good content. Now, I used to be a massive fan of Tailosive. I was I used to be a huge fan of him, and then he's just become really cynical about everything. From what I've seen, like, I want to enjoy his stuff, but he just seems to dislike everything and just assume the worst about everything as if it's edgy, and it's not edgy. It's just pessimistic, and yeah, you know. Let's have a look. So, Martin Cavalcek, by the way, my MacBook Pro 13 is cursed. MagSafe no worky since 15.0.2. Got enhanced diagnostics pulled off the iPhone by Apple today. Wait, so hang on. Oh, your iPhone 13 Pro. Sorry, I was thinking you were talking about a MacBook Pro 13-inch. So that makes more sense now. So do Apple know what's going on with it? That'd be interesting. Maxing out tech with one sentence, very ridiculous much. Is that on the Facebook thing? I hope. Dom, White would be much worse in my opinion. Black background on apps like top notch blend with the bezels. White would be weird, too weird. Black and white thick lines. Yeah, but I just think I'm not talking about specifically for the bezels and the notch. I'm talking about generally the laptops getting that white look back. Apple's white MacBooks, those polycarbonate ones back in the day, were absolutely iconic. And yeah, I think they look really cool. And I actually really like the renders of them with the white bezels as well, because in most cases, a lot of people have the light mode going on. Maybe they won't put that black edge between the display and the bezels. That'd be really cool if it sort of disappeared into them. But we will see. Maxing Out Tech, you like the new studio layout? Well, thank you very much. Evan Rogers, wouldn't be shocked if M2 is faster in Geekbench compute, but slower than M1 Pro binned in real world due to the extra memory bandwidth. Well, we don't know what memory bandwidth they're going to put on the M2s, so it could be anything. Marcin Gavelchek, no clue whatsoever apart from we've had similar reports. My take: broken iOS by MagSafe wallet fix. Oh, for the new wallets that have got like Find My built in. Is that what it is? Where they use that? That's interesting. Facebook becoming Meta. Oh yes. Yeah. I mean, we threw out a video on that one. Really, really quickly, just to be. I think it was about 7 minutes after the announcement happened that my video was up, and it was a 2-minute video, and then I edited it. So I think we did quite well. Drew Williams, Apple will surely go with a more pro design on the new iMac. In what way? What are you going to make more pro on it? You want a notch? They can give you a notch on an iMac, I'm sure. Maxing Out Tech, everyone gangsters till Instagram renames as 4. 4? Okay. Evan Rogers, nobody makes white laptops anymore. It's time to go retro. Yeah, I mean, I did do a quick search actually today because I really think it's going to be the Flex. I think that Apple is going to go all white. I think they will have like a pure white, snow white MacBook Air option as well as the colours. Or maybe the colours will only be on the inside or something like that. I don't know. But I think they're going to be really awesome. And I think white laptops are going to look cool. Everyone complains that they look dirty when they're dirty. But I'd prefer to know when my stuff is dirty and then fix it. Oh, because of metaphor. Okay. Maxing Out Tech, thank you for that. That has helped me no end. I was not with you at all. Oh, right, did you hear the text on the menus gets covered by the notch? Snazzy Lav discovered. Well, Marcin, if you'd watched today's video, you would have known that I knew about this because that was a big topic of today's video. So, yes, I did know about it. I gave Dave, I think you can dig it down on Twitter. Yes, I can, but I did yesterday. Sharon B, hey, super for chatways. Thank you so much, Sharon. You were asking, I think was it when you were watching the podcast with me and Saran the other day? You were asking why we couldn't super chat, and I do really appreciate it. Please, guys, don't feel obliged to super chat. It's always nice, but it's not required at all. But I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. John Malkin, thank you for stopping the colour changing lights. I like the colour you made it. Okay, cool. Yeah, we kind of... Was it this bit, you mean? Because, yeah, we had that kind of flashing the other day, just for a bit of a giggle, but, yeah. Yeah. It's 10 p.m. already. Where are you? No, it's not. It's not 10 p.m. in California. It's 2 p.m. 2 p.m. that they're doing their call, and we will be ready. We will be ready. I watched the video, but kind of busy, so what? So didn't pay attention, Marcin? That's fine, mate. That's absolutely fine. I understand. It's a crazy time that we live in. So there's a bunch of apps that are coming out that kind of hide away the notch if you hate it on your MacBooks. But I like the look. I don't know. I just like it. Flashing light day to day is a bit much, and I'm at Poland. Yes, you are. Yeah. Rod Tech, the SD card slot on the MacBooks do not allow the card going to flush. Not that good. What do you think? I'm sorry? I'm not quite sure what that question is. The SD card slot on the MacBook Pro do not allow the card. Oh, it doesn't go flush. Well, no, you want to be able to pull it out. That's fine. And also, if you go all the way in, then that's kind of you're taking more space away from batteries and stuff on the inside. So, John Malkin's in Chicago. Show off. Just because that's a really cool city. So 95Mac has just put up, what's your favourite feature of the new MacBook Pros? Now I'm going to say, processor should be the one. Anders, welcome. How are you? Marcin, I know what notches for. It's so people can put camera covers on and not smooch up the display. Don't put camera covers on it because you will break the thing again, just like all the others. Don't put anything on your displays. Maxing out check. IK answers, do you recommend Apple Software Bundle for education? Yeah, if you've got access to that, then I would definitely get that $200 for Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Motion. What else do we get? Motion compressor, main stage, right? Yeah, that's a bargain. That's like Final Cut's 300, 500 with Logic, and then the others are 50 each, right? So like $650. Yeah, I'd get that for 200. Sharon B, the notch gets way too much attention. Yeah, it does. But it's because it's different, and it's just like not putting a charger in the box. How many laptops are we going to see next year that have notches? I don't think it's going to be a zero number outside of Apple. But Rich, do you think there will be more M1 native gaming coming to the Mac soon? Hundreds of thousands of very capable laptops will be in the wild. Yeah, millions. I do think we're going to get more gaming coming to the Mac. What did I run up today? I opened up XCOM 2, which I think is really cool. That's quite demanding on an M1. That's fine. Warhammer Total War, that's kind of good. Few other bits that I decided to play a bit today. 2 Point Hospital. I think that's really cool fun. It's just Theme Hospital but made nicer. I enjoyed that one. Let's see what else we've got here. But yeah, I do think we're going to get some of the bigger games. You can play stuff like somebody's done a video on can you run Crysis on them, and yeah, you can, basically. So what else have we got? SD card inserts just 50%. Doesn't bother me. Just grateful for the port. Yeah, and that's fine. It's not supposed to be something that you keep in your Mac. It's not like there is expandable storage. It's something that you can use to read stuff that you've shot on a card or on a video camera. So absolutely makes sense to have it sticking out, because I think part of the reason to leave it sticking out is so that people don't use it as just expandable storage, because that's really not kind of what it's for, I would say. Marcin Kowalczyk, XCOM 1 and 2 are good. Yeah, I mean, I used to play the XCOM games way back in the day, like when they were DOS games, I think. Like, I've been playing those for years. But yeah, XCOM games are awesome. Dom, I think the apps that hide the notch will sell well, but a simple option to change the background menu to black should be enough. Yeah, I mean, you can do that anyway. You can just put a stripe across your wallpaper. Like, it's really not a big deal. There shouldn't be any issues with it. Also, the Homeworld series, says Marcin, yep. EVE Online is now Apple Silicon native, and it looks pretty astonishing. Evan Rogers, I gave answers. Would an acquisition of Sony by Apple make sense to you? 150 billion should do it. I mean, I do think that Apple should buy a studio. But if Apple bought Sony, then they get, PlayStation? They get all of their hardware divisions. They get the movie studios. They get, there's a lot of stuff at Sony. They get Spider-Man. So, Apple Spider-Man, that'd be cool. Drew Williams, the notch is the most impressive thing. What makes you say that? I'm interested. I do think that it is there ready for... I do think that it's ready there for Face ID. Linus on Linus Tech Tips basically very loudly kind of said, it's, if anyone thinks that it's there ready to if anyone thinks it's there ready for Face ID, then they're idiots. Basically, that was what Linus and his mate that does float plane, can't remember his name now, they were saying on the WAN show, and I was like, no, I think you're wrong, and I think you're going to be eating your words next year, pal. Right, what do we got here? So, Marcin Kowalczyk says, Evan Rogers, why won't Apple buy SpaceX and make the Apple campus orbital? Yeah, the spaceship campus, yeah, that should definitely be in space already. But yeah, I mean, I kind of thought when we were hearing all the stuff about Apple putting satellite chips into the iPhones, that satellite company that was coming up in the conversations that kind of Qualcomm had been working with, can't remember the name of them. If you remember it, slap it down in the comments for me. I kind of thought they were going to announce that they'd bought them and that they were going to do their own network a la sort of Starlink. Starlink? Yeah, that's the Elon one. I'm a big space fan, so if you've got any space questions, let's hit those up too. Little Mountain Life, Apple buying Sony would be nuts. I'd be down for it as I'm a Sony Alpha guy too. Christopher Gavin, I thought they'd get Sony Pictures, but they've just done a deal with Netflix. Yeah, but Sony Pictures, they've done a deal with Netflix, but I don't think they've sold out to them, right? They've just distribution deal, right? I think. I could be wrong. Yeah, so Little Mountain Life, Sony Alpha, I'm guessing that's the cameras, right? They've got some really good stuff on this camera side. And I think most of the iPhones use Sony sensors. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments down there. But you're back from the big boy, and it runs Intel. Yeah, let me see for myself now. I'm so confused about what you're saying there. Dom, 95 Mac points out the thickness of the Face ID sensor is just too big to fit as of today. Yeah, it probably is, but I'm pretty certain that they've engineered this with the next generation of it in mind. I don't think they would have put the notch there as wide as they have if they've not actually got stuff to go in it that just isn't quite ready for mass production yet. It just makes sense. By the way, guys, we are very close now to our 10,000 subscriber little benchmark, aren't we? I think we are less than 300 away. Let me check. We are now 278 subscribers away. We've had a good month. We've had a very good month. 1,200 new subscribers this month. Which is just bonkers. Thank you all. Any of you that are new this month. Any of you that have shared stuff. Okay, so John Malkin says, another Apple guy said Face ID wouldn't be practical because it would need additional verification for purchases. Yeah, that was Rene Ritchie, right? Doesn't make any sense at all, because when you are using Apple Pay with your phone, you double click the side button. Doesn't mean you have to press a specific button. You can click the authorize button that appears on the screen, like in a pop-up. It's an absolute non-issue. I'm not really sure where he was coming from with that. Master Kowalczyk, how much life the Soyuz series has left in it? You think Soyuz MS is pretty modern considering the origin? I think it's probably got another 300 or 400 years based on how long they've been using that Soyuz design for now. There is a Soyuz up here. Here he is. It's one of the older ones though. Yeah. Little Mountain Life, yes, alpha cameras. I vlog and shoot on the full frame Sony A7C. Very nice cameras. There's a lot of people on YouTube using those. For me, it's still iPhone because that's the budget I have right now. We have got an actual camera though, and I did manage to get it to actually look decent. Which is, Linda is always proud of me when I pull this one out, because it's my G7 Lumix. And this thing, because I don't know enough about cameras, I was always getting terrible image quality out of it, especially when we were streaming. It looked like crap. But I've finally managed to get it to look half decent, so that's not too bad. And that was, I think I bought that for about £300. It's a 4K sensor, quite nice. Does the job when I actually get stuff right with it. Will I touch into shipment issues? Yeah, so at the moment, it seems like UPS are the big issues with these MacBooks. I think they had a couple of aircraft that went down, or a certain aircraft that got grounded. I believe there was an Airbus that got grounded just recently because they had some issues with composite bodies. I'm not 100% sure on the details with that, but I think that's part of the reason that there's been a lot of delayed shipments of MacBooks at the moment, which is very upsetting for people and quite quite unfortunate when people were expecting them on release day. Christopher Gavin, I also thought they might buy MGM, then Apple would have had James Bond, but then Amazon bought them. Yeah, I think I suggested MGM end of last year, saying that it would be something that they could do to bolster Apple TV Plus, but it doesn't look like they want to do it with the back catalogue stuff. So you just mentioned the back catalogue stuff in the chat there as well, but everything on Apple TV, other than Snoopy and some of the Fraggle Rock stuff, is like their own original content. They haven't really gone into that back catalogue side of things, so I think it's pretty good. Maxing out Tech, a Little Mountain Life, so close to 10k, you'll pass me soon. I have no idea what subs you're on. Little Mountain Life, let me know what you're on. Kai Sander, subscription plus on what? What are we subscription plusing? Evan Rogers, do you notice the head tracking has a tendency to get stuck on one side on the AirPods 3? Very rarely, but I tend to wear them when I'm walking like round the house, so I kind of assume that it's when it's just losing signal on one side or the other, but that's about it. Sawyers will go on forever, says Bill Moon. Yeah, I completely agree. It's one of those workhorses. I thought they were gonna drop it after, was it 2018 when they had the launch abort? They were part way up and one of the boosters didn't come off properly, so it was still bouncing around on the core stage, and they had to actually like launch the fire the ejection rockets to pull the capsule away. That was a bit hairy. I was in the gym when that happened, and it was very funny because the announcer was still reading her script, saying how everything was going great, and you could hear in the background everyone sort of shouting and screaming, and you could see the rocket kind of bouncing around and not looking great. But all of the telemetry was obviously pre-recorded. IKF Dave, wasn't that the one on which you couldn't tame the autofocus? Yes, that was the G7. Seems like that's got better on it. It hasn't had any updates or anything, but yeah, it seems to have done that. Bill Moon, as long as Russia has money. Well, yeah, but the thing is, if it's a country that doesn't have the money to launch its own stuff, it's only themselves they're sort of paying, I guess. They're not like they're buying any of the engines from anyone else. But yeah. Little Mountain Life, it was vlogging fine on the iPhone 11 Pro. It started doing paid video gigs that needed a more pro setup. The iPhone still makes an amazing B cam for sure. Yeah, that was the thing. I kind of wanted to go into doing videography stuff. Turns out I probably made the right decision not to, based on my color grading skills. But yeah, like I would have been more than happy to use the iPhone for everything, but it's like you can't turn up to a gig and use a phone and then expect to be paid, even if it looks just as good. It's a very difficult system. Maxing out tech, I don't know, but I'm a million% sure that Boeing 737 Maxes are a massive failure. Yeah, Boeing's had some massive issues recently, not just with the aircraft, but also with Starliner. They're really struggling. Little Mountain Live, just over 11k subs. You're much faster clip than me. My channel turns 3 in March. Oh, okay. Marcy Kovalchek, I think the aborted Soyuz got put in a museum. Oh, the capsule. That's pretty cool, if they did. Probably not the rest of it, because that would have just crashed into a small village or something. Although that's normally China that does that. Bill Moon, they shot a movie in space recently. That's got to pay for a few more Soyuzes. Yeah, I think it will. And obviously, SpaceX is sending people up to do a movie as well soon, I think, because Tom Cruise is going up to the ISS, right? He's going to do a very similar thing. And I think the Russian one was kind of just a rushed job of, let's do it before the Americans. They've won the space race. I'm not ginger today. Yeah, you're right. Not today. But I did like that Inspiration 4 mission that's just happened as well. That was really cool. Where they sent up 4 civilians to raise money for a children's hospital. That was cool. Drew Williams, I do agree. I think the notch allows for slim bezels and to future-proof for later tech, possibly Face ID, maybe a high-resolution camera. Yeah, I mean, all that stuff's going to happen eventually. It's just a case of how long does it take for the technology to fit into the gaps that we've got. I definitely think Face ID's got to come to the Macs, right? Is there anyone that thinks they won't bring it to the Macs? I mean, it should definitely be on iMacs, if nothing else, because they've definitely got the depth to play with. And it should be able to fit into the bezels on an iMac, so we will see. But there was already code for Face ID into Big Sur. That's already existed. Anyone watching anything good on Apple TV right now? I'm definitely following the morning show as it comes out. That's doing pretty well. Marcin Kowalczyk, the one with the huge cupola. The Netflix show is worth watching just for the views, even if the rest of it is a giant Elon ad. Yeah, of course it is. And that's what all of this stuff is. All PR, but at least SpaceX is letting us see kind of what happens on the way through. Like, I love the fact that you get to see kind of the work in progress with Starship. I'm really excited to see Starship and Super Heavy launch together. That's going to be just absolutely mental. Specula asks, do you think they will ever add hardware ray tracing to the Mac Pro like they have with the video decoders? I don't know. What's anyone that's got the MacBook Pros with an M1 Max in it that's in the chat here? Do they do ray tracing already? I don't think they've got a hardware version for it, but I would not be surprised at all. They seem to like doing that kind of thing. Maxing out tech, do you think Apple develops under-display camera systems for MacBooks? Probably not very soon. Under-display cameras seem to suck really hard right now. They tend to be just fuzzy. They're just a fuzzy mess. Like Marquez was looking at some, he was not impressed. So I don't think the tech's right there yet, at least. So. Little Mountain Live, sure you'll show us in your studio tour, but what monitors are you using in the current setup? Just the one now. So actually the display that I'm using is the 4K JVC TV, as before, on a monitor arm. So it is kind of movable up and down and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I've kind of gone down to one display. The other one is up on the wall, but it's on the side here. And that is that's the 40-inch 1080p display that I think I paid like 20 or 40 quid for from eBay. There's a lot of love in the chat here for Foundation. I kind of tried to watch the first episode of it, but it was when I was suffering with COVID and I was not quite with it, so I need to put the time aside to actually watch that again. Haven't really had time at the minute. I am rewatching The Boys on Amazon at the moment, and it's bloody great. Bill Moon, they're also at manual control lately, that's for sure. Soyuz will absolutely need to get more spacecraft that can boost the ISS. Yeah, I think there's what is it called? Mission extension modules that they've now got that they can send up, and they can latch onto existing satellites that are out of fuel and use those to boost. Maybe they could do something like that for the ISS, so it's kind of got its own orbital boost system built in, rather than kind of having to rely on the spacecraft that come up, especially as the Soyuz ones seem to just randomly spin the station at the moment rather than boosting it so much. Techable Tech, I'm sad Ted Lasso season 2 is over. I haven't watched any of Ted Lasso yet, and I only just realised that it's Bill Lawrence that's producing it, who did Scrubs, so I'm actually now interested in watching it, but before, the fact that it had football in it made it less exciting to me. I've got to be honest with you, I'm not a sports person. Invasion is good so far. Thank you, Marcin. Love the morning show, Little Mountain Life, enjoying Foundation as well. Yeah, see, everyone seems to quite like the Foundation. I'm going to have to go back to that one. Invasion looks really good from the trailers that I've seen. I believe the M1 is not properly priced into the stock yet. It makes it so much easier to enter the Apple ecosystem, and the pent-up upgrade demand must be huge, says Bert Rich. Yeah, I think as well now people have actually seen what M1 not next generation, but next tier can do. I think that's pretty crazy. I do think that the stock deserves to be a little bit higher, but this is not financial advice, obviously. John Malkin, the SpaceX chopsticks look cool. Oh, for Mechazilla. So they're going to be catching the boosters, and they're going to be catching the starships as well, right? They're going to catch them under those front canards. What are they actually called? I don't think they're canards. But yeah, the front kind of fins that help to slow it through the atmosphere. Yeah, you're going to catch it and then use them as a crane to stack them up again. Fred the Bread, have earnings been shown yet? Sorry, I'm late. No, we were like an hour early because I messed up the timings. But we're just going to have a chat about Apple in the meantime. And yeah, so that's what we're doing. Just making it a longer one because I just like hanging out with you guys. Let's see what else we've got here. Does Apple TV Plus have HDR content? I believe so, because Apple TV, the physical hardware, is capable of HDR, right? So I think it does. I haven't checked. My TV isn't capable of it, so we know that much. Any update on the AirPods Pro 2? Yeah, they're not out yet. I think that's going to be next year. We don't really know anything about them. There's some people that have said they're going to be stemless. That makes like zero sense to me because A, where are you going to put the good microphones? And if you do put microphones on it without a stem, how are you going to know that the microphones are pointing somewhere near your face? It's also a good place for battery. It's also a really good thing for, controlling it. So I don't put too much stock in the stemless rumours. Have you started any HomePod automation? Have you started any home automation stuff yet? You mentioned you were thinking about it a while ago, Christopher Gavin. I haven't, partially through budget stuff. Like, I would love to just have HomeKit stuff in this office at least to start with, so that I could just ask the personal assistant to kind of set everything up ready for a stream. If I could just have my lights come on when I asked for them, that would be great. Wait, Apple has honoured me by naming their most powerful chip after me? Yes, they have, Max. That's exactly what the intent was. Watch the morning show in one go with the Foundation. Oh, what? So like, you watch them on the same day when they come out? Cool. Evan Rogers, can you really be an Apple fan if you haven't seen Ted Lasso? Yes, because I am, and I haven't. Bill Moon, you will love Ted Lasso, I guarantee it. I haven't loved the bits I've seen, but maybe you need to see a whole episode. Ted Lasso is great. There's not a lot of actual football in it. Okay, fair enough. You've convinced me, guys. I will try. I promise. Evan Rogers, haven't seen Ted Lasso because I guess Foundation eats all my time budget on Apple TV+. Yeah, this is the problem. Like, you guys have to realise that I'm doing a full-time job and then coming home and making like a 15 to 20 minute Apple video every day and editing it and uploading it. I don't have a lot of spare time. 'Cause, 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 'cause Let's see what else we've got here. John Malkin, Foundation third episode is good. Yes to both. But Rich, big thumbs up. Ferris, are the earnings better than expected? We don't know yet because I started the stream an hour before I should have done. So we've got half an hour to go before it comes. So what we will do is we will actually see the earnings. We will do a quick kind of while the call's going on. And then we'll end it at the end of the call rather than doing a roundup afterwards. I think that's fair. So Specular says Ted Lasso is great even if you hate sports. Honest. And yeah, I think Foundation is amazing so far. The budget for Foundation must have been insane. John Malkin, Dave, have you been to Kennedy? I normally pop over when I go to Orlando. Yes, I've been once, and I was 10, I think, 10 or 11. We went to Disney between, like, primary school and secondary school, because my dad's huge into Disney. We were there for 3 weeks, and we were there, we went over to Kennedy to see a shuttle launch. It was Discovery, and it was I think the closest to launch abort that they ever did. They'd like started up the main engines but not the boosters, because once you light those boosters you're going somewhere near orbit regardless of what happens. So yeah, we've been to Kennedy once, and I remember I was correcting the tour guide that was introducing me to the Saturn V rockets. I was like, no, that's a Saturn V, is that? So let's see what else we've got here. Handsome Smitty, my new MacBook Pro 32GB of RAM is showing 16GB active all the time, even though I only have one app open. Does it mean active RAM now includes inactive RAM reserved for previously open apps? No, you don't need to worry about what is showing as active and what's showing as empty. It makes no difference. The best thing that Apple can do is actually use the RAM that you have. There's no point in having it sitting there empty. What it will do is kind of preemptively fill with what it thinks you're likely to use next. And that's to kind of speed up, in most cases, what will go on. So that's my understanding of it anyway, but RAM sitting there empty is not helpful to anyone. So don't worry about it at all. Master Gavalchek. Alright, and also For All Mankind. It's so good. Yeah, I love For All Mankind. That was the first thing I watched on Apple TV+. Sharon B, the beats proved we needed stems. Yes, I agree. John Malkin, which Siri voice do you use? I use one of the American... I think... Hang on. Trying to remember now. Hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Counting down.
I use that one. And timers is one of the main things that I use it for, because with my eldest son being diabetic, we have to give his insulin and then have a set time between that and giving his food. So that's kind of what I use it for the most. But yeah, that's the voice that I use. Bill Moon, any word on which version of the AirPods someone that doesn't have any yet Pro or new regular? I'm going to say I think these new regular ones are pretty awesome. They fit me perfectly. I think they look pretty cool. The spatial audio I really think is good. Depends if you want active noise cancellation. That's the big thing. So if you like active noise cancellation and you like the feel of having in-ear buds with the silicon tips, then by all means go for the Pros. You can basically get them quite often for about the same price as these right now. I personally prefer the not silicon tipped ones, so that's why I went for these. And also, you know, having them on release day is a handy thing when you do this job. Pop. Let's see what else we've got. I'm just trying to avoid the ones that are just replying to someone else in the threads. Let's see. Dave say, no, I'm not setting a timer to launch a Soyuz. We don't need to launch anyone's rockets. Basically end up with a repeat of that Space Camp movie from the 80s. That was an awesome film. I loved that. But yeah, where is everyone? put your kind of vague locations in the chat. Don't give away any like personal information, but where are you? Who am I talking to right now? Quick subs update. We've had an extra 6 during the stream, so thank you all. Got nearly 3,000 views from that little Facebook video that I posted just after the announcement, so that's nice too. On the subject of launching rockets, though, I used to do the rocket Estes rockets. I don't know if those are a thing over in the States still. I guess they're probably more of a thing in the States than they are over here. Apple earnings are out. Whoa. Hey, Twitter, thanks so much for that one. Okay. What did we say on the predictions? So, let's have a look at these. We have Apple has announced their financial for fiscal 2021 fourth quarter ended September 25th, 2021. The company posted a September quarter revenue of a record of $83.4 billion, up 29% year over year. So everyone, you were all wrong. 29% up, guys. Year on year, which is pretty insane. How are they doing that? That's astonishing, as usual. Apple's really good at astonishing. I'm just going to refresh this page for the earnings call, see if we've got that player turned up yet, because that normally arrives any minute now, but no, it hasn't yet. But yeah, so we've got 29% earnings growth. That's bonkers. Let me just resize this a little bit so that it's out the way and I can still see the chat. The joy of a 4K display. Moscovelchek. IKEV Dave, they could launch their own Soyuz with a huge apple as a payload for that. How big of an apple can you get? But yeah, it's pretty bonkers. This year we launched our most powerful products ever. That means nothing, obviously, because they don't get less powerful year on year. From M1 powered Macs to an iPhone 13 lineup that is setting a new standard for performance and empowering our customers to create and connect in new ways, said Tim Cook, Apple's CEO. We are infusing our values into everything we make, moving closer to our 2030 goal of being carbon neutral, and up and down the supply chain and across the life cycle of our products, ever advancing towards our mission to build a more equitable future. So we have the numbers. Our record September quarter results capped off a remarkable fiscal year of strong double-digit growth, during which we set new revenue records in all of our geographic segments and all product categories in spite of continued uncertainty in the macro environment. So Apple just basically shrugged at the chip shortage. So yeah, pretty mental. That is a full-on holy crap moment. Yeah, holy crap, that's insane. Whoa, how the literal F. That's wild. I wonder if the sub plan for Apple Music family sharing helped. Yeah, I mean, definitely the subscriptions and stuff is all helping. Very big quarter. Yep. Forget Soyuz. Apple revenue is going to the moon. Yeah, to the moon. Hodl. And guess what will happen? Their stock will probably almost certainly go down. Junko or Yunko? I'm not sure. Let me know which one of those it should have been. Apple's stock, will it go up? Probably not. Doesn't normally. They always beat their targets, and then the stock always drops because everyone buys on rumors and sells on results. So that's what happens. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Right, we will be having the actual call in still 20 minutes. Oh God, it's a long way. Apple stock is currently down 4.6 in aftermarket trading. That's because the experts were expecting a little more revenue. Yeah, this is always what happens. Let's open stocks and see if anything happens while this call goes on. Anyone in the chat into NFTs and stuff as well? I think that's going to be an interesting thing going forward. Oh, no, actually, Apple at the minute is up $3.72, but I'm guessing that's not including the after hours. Oh, yeah, down $7.32 in after hours. What is going on? What's going on there? Closed at 152 a share, and now down to 145 in after hours trading. That's just crazy. But has that been since the results came out? Who knows? June Cole. Thank you. Right, let's have a look. Halfway for silicon rollout, says John Malkin. Yes, absolutely. CNBC is reporting that Apple fell short of Wall Street expectations. Well, that's because Wall Street is insane. Because look at this. Like, these are just bonkers results. What is wrong with Wall Street? So strange. So strange how all this stuff works. But then we go. Yep, never sell my Apple stock, John Malkin. Fair play to you, mate. I think you've probably got the right idea there. Personalised Tech Help says, "Ooh, I caught a live one. Love the show as always. I just wanted to comment too. I tested a 6250 write and 5230 read on the base model. I about fell off my chair. So you've got the new MacBook Pro, right? So is that the fully base binned chip version? Very nice. Still pretty impressive, eh? Right. You look exhausted. Are you going to make it? Yeah, I will. I'll be fine. I've still got tomorrow's show to do after this. Don't worry about me. But no, I'm trying to get the house all tidy and stuff. And so we have got the studio tour is premiering tomorrow at 5 hours after our normal show. So 6 p.m. in the UK, 5 p.m. UTC. So if you want to see what my actual space looks like now, with this cool funky desk that does all this stuff, moves around, then yeah, you can watch that. This is just fun. I keep playing with it. But you're only allowed to use it for like 2 minutes in every 18 or something. So you don't burn out the motors. That seems fair, because these things are like, they're beasts. It's quite a hefty desk. How much Apple stock do I own, says Junko? 0. People always ask me that. No, I'm not here to make money out of Apple. I just love the stuff. I just think it's awesome. Evan Rogers, best quarter in company history and misses expectations. Yep. It's all the way that it happens. Yeah. Maxing out Tech, Wall Street is being managed by Samsung. Yeah, it's all Samsung displays. They're only showing the bad news. Robin Hood type apps drive stuff down a lot during good earnings. Fine. If people want to sell stuff, like, that's the only way that you drive stock prices down, isn't it? You sell stuff. So it's all good. It's all good. Personalised Tech Help. If you want me to test something, I could. I appreciate the offer. There's a bajillion people out there testing it and doing numbers and stuff. I'm more interested in what comes next now. I mean, it's interesting to know the performance, and the stuff that I would be interested in seeing is how it's going to perform with Blender. Like, the stuff that Apple is doing with Blender now is really interesting. I'm really pleased that Apple has done some investments into Blender, and they've actually put out some more stuff today, actually. I obviously got my messages through from Apple tomorrow. So the viewport, which is the main kind of thing that you look at while you are preparing these 3D models in Blender, because Apple's now an investor, or like one of the development partners. The 3D viewport in Blender is where the action is. The 2.8 strategy to move more tools to 3D, not buttons or panels, but by carefully designed 3D widgets or face groups, will be ongoing. The big target for the 3X series is to move Blender entirely to use the Vulkan operating standard. Vulkan and Metal backends for Blender's GPU API are being developed. Now, Metal is obviously Apple's own sort of GPU language, if you like. Their version of OpenGL, OpenCL, DirectX, whatever you want to kind of compare it to. That's kind of what that is. And this other one was quite interesting. CPU and GPU support. Blender is now being supported by all the major silicon manufacturers: Intel, AMD, Nvidia, and Apple. Apple is now being considered one of the big silicon manufacturers, up there with Intel, AMD, and Nvidia. That's mad. Qualcomm's not up there. The developers work closely with the hardware industry to ensure an equal and fully compatible experience for artists who use Blender, disregarding of the platform or operating system. Anyone can monitor or submit performance reports on Blender's open data website, which will be updated when 3.0 is out. So Apple is becoming a fully first-class citizen on Blender, which is really, really interesting. Really cool. Right, let's see what else we got here in the chat. So, personalized tech help. Can you do an Xcode stress test? You guys hook up between you. Something that I wanted to point out, actually, we've got for tomorrow's show the guys from Throwboy are sending over some details. Because they have just launched a set of pillows that Marcin is going to be incredibly excited about. So I've basically reached out to them. They've sent me some assets and stuff over. They're doing some really intricate pillows. And I know this might sound really weird for an Apple channel, but they do Apple pillows. They're doing a iBook G3. They're doing a Power Mac G5, an iMac G4, which is the sunflower one. There's a Lisa pillow and a G4 Cube pillow. These things look awesome. So we'll be talking about those on tomorrow's shows, which is going to be really cool. So, thank you, Christopher Gavin. Super chat there, $5. Put this towards your home automation budget. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much. We have got Apple TV, which can kind of act as the hub. I've also got a HomePod Mini, but it's not actually active at the minute. It's up on the shelf there. That one needs to kind of come back into activity. But yes, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Let's have a quick look down here. So, is Tim Cook a billionaire? Yep, he sure is. And I think he just brought out a whole bunch of shares. Because a lot of what Apple does is in terms of share options, rather than like big salary payouts. Like Steve Jobs, when he was at Apple, when he came back, famously only took a like $1 a year salary for a few years. And he said that 50 cents of that was his base salary, and the other 50 cents was performance based. And I think he always got that full dollar. Sharon B. I see so many comments and reviewers saying that Apple doesn't innovate. Tech is like Bizarro World. Apple is innovating more than anyone else right now. Intel's just put out their sort of Big Little chips as well, their Alder Lakes, which seem to be pretty good. And everyone's like, oh, they've caught up with M1. 3 days after M1 Pro and M1 Max was announced. I've still got M1X stuck in my head. Sorry. It's going to get said a lot. Any thoughts on the Facebook name change to Meta as they focus on augmented and virtual reality? 3D tech skills might become more important. I think that's probably one of the things that the Blender stuff is probably going to be quite helpful for. But actually, I'm not convinced that Facebook is going to do that much more in augmented reality. I think augmented reality is on the way. Virtual reality is still like 5 years off from normal humans doing anything with it, I think. But I think more than anything, they just want to get away from Facebook being the holding company that owns Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and everything else. So it's very much more of a Google being owned by Alphabet, which is Google kind of effect. There's no actual changes going on in all honesty. Meme Master, I bought 3... Meme Master, bought 3 calls, man. Thank they are long term. If we're for a swing, I would have been out a few hundred. Oh, so you okay? So you changed some share stuff. Okay, cool. I don't know what any of that meant. Um, Specular. If Apple can start competing with cards like Nvidia's 3090, that would be amazing. Maybe with the new Mac Pro. The M1 Max in the MacBook Pros is pretty comparable to a mobile 3080, I believe. So take that as you will. Stephen Turner in Newcastle, UK. Sorry about your accent. it's all about the banter here in the UK. Bill Moon, 1.3 billion Cook reported wealth. Cool, that's fair enough. Junquo, what's my favourite stock? I don't know. I don't have a favourite stock. I'm not a stock trader. Evan Rogers, $1 salaries are a way for CEOs to avoid income taxes. Yeah, but for the first couple of years that Steve was back as well, he didn't take any stock options either. Maxing out tech, Facebook is going to be watching us in 4K and 3D. Yeah, they're already watching everything. Just gobbling up all the data. Marcin Kowalczyk, I think VR is hard because some people get nauseous from it. Yep. And plus, I'd like to see where I'm going, thanks. But no VR, thanks. Yeah, I mean, VR is going to be one of those things that you do at home, I think. But I do kind of feel like augmented reality is probably going to be more useful for most people. But then, at the same time, do you remember, like, a couple of years ago when we kept seeing all those concepts of, like, see-through phones and see-through displays and see-through monitors? It's like, well, yeah, you can do that, but then you're trying to watch all the stuff that you want to see through, against a background of your room that doesn't really help you see anything. But Rich, growth 1.6% on the Max. Sure, they will improve that greatly in the next quarter. Many people were waiting to upgrade if they can produce them. I don't think they're going to have that much problem with production now, to be fair. I think they've fixed the issues with the mini LED displays. They've not had any issues with producing the M series chips, from the sounds of things. The only constraints that they had was the mini LED displays. So I don't think they're going to have any problems with that. June, what car do I ride? At the moment it's a BMW 3 Series, but soon to be switching over, fingers crossed, to an all-electric Lexus. But a company car, not mine. I can't afford any of these things. Evan Rogers, got to get back to work. Thanks, Dave. See you peeps. Hey, Saran's not here. You can't do see you peeps. That's his trademark. I don't have a Facebook account, says John Malkin. I do because I do some moderating for Gary Vaynerchuk. So that's one of the things that I spent some time doing on his groups on Facebook on First in Line. Maxing out tech. I'll try to be back for tomorrow's show. Cool. See you later, man. Marcin Kowalczyk. I saw one film like that from the early 2000s predicted transparent LG phones by 2023. Well, no LG phones at all. They're all out of here. But yeah, transparent phones, transparent displays, they look kind of cool, but then where are you going to put your battery as well? That's the other problem. Dante Buratar, can multiple connected M1 MacBook Pros in Blender via Crowd Render? Oh, can use multiple connected. Oh, okay, so you can do that. You can kind of make a little render farm of M1 Minis and MacBook Pro to control them all. That's really cool. Nice. Marcin Kowalczyk, not much chance on that since LG phone is bust. Yep, exactly. What else we got? Marcin Kowalczyk, also Facebookless. Sharon B, I heard Mac Mini supply restrained. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's supply constrained. I think it's they've had some production issues. And I think this is one of the things that everyone assumes when there's a delay on anything now, that it's silicon based, that there's issues with the actual chips. I don't think it's that. I think they've just run into some problems like they did with the Apple Watch with actually being able to produce them in bulk. So that would be my thoughts. Right, shall we have a look at the actual numbers from Apple then? See what's on here. Okay. So Apple's earnings call, the stream is actually live now. So I'm just going to listen to that in the background. Let's jump back over to here so I can see the chat. Do I own Google stock? I don't own any stock. I don't own stock in anything. I am not a stock trader person. So, Apple in condensed consolidated statement of operations, unaudited, in millions except where the number of shares, which are reflected in thousands, and per share amounts. So we've got product sales 65 billion, services 18.2 billion, and this is all versus the same time last year. 65 billion in product sales this year versus 50.1 billion last year. And then we've got 18.2 billion in services revenue versus 14.5 billion. So again, good growth there. And for the full year, 297 billion versus 220 billion the year before. That's pretty good going. Master Gavalchak, I just wait for the day when spaceships and stations will run on Apple Silicon because of how efficient it is. Yeah. Well, I mean, just on ARM in general. The ARM chips is what's efficient. Apple Silicon just makes it useful. Research and development. Apple spent 5.7 billion versus 4.9 billion the previous year. Which is how do they spend so little on R&D comparatively to their revenues? That's 5.7 billion in a quarter. So 21.9 billion for the year. Nearly 22 billion. Sunny Patel, are you going to watch the earnings call while on stream? Never mind. Yes, we are. I've got it going on in my ears. I'm guessing you posted that just before I'd said it. Earnings per share are massively up. So it was 74 cents per share last year. It's $1.25 this year. That's just a massive jump. Net sales per reportable segment. So America's 36.8 billion, Europe 20.79 billion, China 14.5 billion, Japan 5.9 billion, rest of Pacific Asia 5.1 billion. And net sales by category. iPhone sales 38.86 billion, Mac 9.178 billion, iPad 8.252 billion, wearables, home and accessories 8.7 billion, services 18.2. So the Mac is definitely higher than the iPad right now by like $1 billion. And I don't think that was the case before Apple Silicon. ND, any thoughts on when we will see the larger M1 iMac? So it's probably going to be the M1 Pro, M1 Max, we would assume. And I think we're probably going to see it at the spring event. That would be my best guess. But fingers crossed. Master Gavalchek, ND, I think it will be constrained to 27-inch display. The dude who's never been wrong said. So that's Ross Displayman. They may be shadowed with issues for mini LED production past 27 inches. Yeah, I think that's probably the case. Oh, it sounds like the music's stopping. Are we going into our call? No, we're going into a different music track. Current assets. Cash and cash equivalents, $34.9 billion. So their actual cash on hand is down compared to what they had last year, and their marketable securities are down, and their accounts receivable are up, and their inventory is up, and their vendor non-trade receive. Some of this stuff just means nothing to me. I'll be honest. Yeah, accounts payables higher, current liabilities higher. Yeah, so they've just got a bit more stuff outstanding. That's why the cash in the bank is down a little bit. How's the music? Says John Malkin. Oh, it sounds great because it's on AirPods, but other than that. Dr. HJ, how was their guidance? They didn't give guidance last year or they didn't give it last quarter because of the pandemic and because of everything that's going on. But they were still expecting to do pretty well, and they've reported up 29% year on year, which is not bad. Andy, thanks. Also, really enjoy your work. Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for watching it. If people didn't watch my work, it would be kind of pointless. So we should be about a minute away from stuff happening now. Fingers crossed. It's kind of funky tunes. Let's see how mad Twitter's going about the earnings. Mark Gurman, the best part of Apple's earning results is that the call is in spatial audio. Misses on supply constraints for the iPhone, Mac, and wearables. Beats for iPad and services. Huh? But what does he mean, misses on the iPhone, Mac, and wearables? No. What's he talking about? All of those things are up. The Mac is up, not by a massive amount, to be fair. The iPad's up loads, and the iPhone is up like 38.8 billion versus 26.4 billion for the previous year. I don't feel like that's much of a miss. But then, myself and Mark Gurman seem to disagree on a lot. Still want my my Mac Mini though. Oh, the music has stopped abruptly. Here we go, we're into it. So just in case any of you don't have it, I will pop the link up in the chat so you can listen along. So Tim's about to jump on the call. Sharon, no, I'm not, I'm afraid. I'll look at doing that. Okay, so they're just going through all the legal stuff where they say that they can't give you accurate predictions. And here comes Tim. A little bit about COVID. Thanks, Evan. You got your AirPods in. Christopher, no, they don't do video on the call. They just do basically a phone call. So at the minute they're talking about students going back to college and all that sort of stuff, which didn't happen last year. %33% annual growth. Demand very robust. Saying that supply constraints have been larger than expected. So they're saying they would have been up an extra 6 billion without supply constraints. All-time record for the Mac and a quarterly record for everything else. %26 growth in services. Nearly a third of revenue from emerging markets, and doubled their revenues in India and Vietnam. Same what they introduced. You know, significant advances with all of them apart from the watch, I guess. Now he's just rehashing what is nice about the new iPhones. New iPads. Just now talking about how great the new MacBook Pros are. Evan, how long will it be till Apple makes more from services than hardware? It's going to be a while. How much did they make this quarter? $83.3 billion. India is the fastest growing market. 100% revenue growth is insane. Same with Vietnam, I think. Talking about how great the voice plan is for Siri. Sure. Hey, Razvan Kuhl. Good to have you here. Yes, indeed. Bruh, very good point. WatchOS 8 has made the Apple Watch more powerful than ever. Just the new Apple Watch hasn't. Love the new setup. Glad you do. There's a full tour of it coming tomorrow. Oh, Apple stock in after hours is coming up a little bit again. Alright, Tim, everyone else has bullied me about Ted Lasso already. I'll watch it. I went from 2nd gen to 3rd gen on the AirPods. Yes, I did. I think they're awesome. Really like them. Really happy. Fitness Plus coming to another 15 countries. That will help revenues as well. Services will be up. John Malkin, Ted Lasso. Like the thing that you spin around your head. Would I get the polishing cloth? If there were any. I went to the Apple Store to see if they had any in stock. They do not. New Apple Stores that have opened. New Apple Store in Changsha, Hunan province of China. John. I know. All the stores are open worldwide and have been for 7 weeks. My Apple Store, by the way, locally is beautiful. Oh yeah, they've done the new everyone can code early learners coding things. Maybe I could actually manage that. Okay, Tim's now talking about the stuff that they're going to do, like the charitable stuff. I feel like we've kind of got to the end of all the interesting stuff from this. They will move over to Luca Maestri, who's the chief financial officer, I think, next. And it tends to be quite dry from there on. They do some Q&A bits. If there's anything really interesting in it, we will pick up on it in tomorrow's shows. But for now, if you have any questions, if anyone else carries on listening to the call, let me know down in the comments section, #ICaveAnswers. Leave me any questions that you got for tomorrow, and we will pick up on those. But I think I'm going to wrap this one up because it's been quite a long live stream, longer than I expected to do, because I messed up the timings. But it's been great hanging out with everyone. There's not a huge amount more, I don't think, that's going to be coming out of this, but we've got the numbers. 29% growth year on year is just absolutely bonkers. And we're very, very close to hitting our 10,000 subscribers mark. We're really close now, you guys. So if you are watching and for some reason you're not subscribed to the channel, we're now 270 subscribers away. I'm hoping that we can do it in the next week or so. That'd be amazing. Yeah. I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. Oh, a quick couple of last questions before we go. So, iCave answers, when will Apple chips be used in space? M20. They're already being used in space. The iPad minis went on Inspiration 4, which was about a month ago. I mispronounced your last name. I tried really hard. I will get there. But you guys, thank you so much for watching. I think that's probably as much interesting stuff as we're going to get out of this call for today. So thank you so much. I will see you all in tomorrow's show. And don't forget, we've got the office tour coming out as well tomorrow afternoon. So set your calendars for that too. I'll get the premiere set up very soon. Thank you so much. See you later.